Hey, FlimsyLunchTray here, and welcome to World of Warships. Today I'm going to be featuring the Tier 10 American Heavy Cruiser, the USS Des Moines, comprised of her 9 203mm guns. Still a lot of fun, in my opinion, in World of Warships, a potent cruiser. But there are definitely some challenges that Des Moines faces now compared back to 2021, which is the last time, I believe, 2021, 2022. But 2021 was when I featured this ship, and I did a Friday highlight. I did an upgrade commander build video. But the game's moved on a lot since 2021. You know, as an example, which I'll get into in this video, you know, now we have submarines. Now we have super ships. Now we have Dutch airstrikes on battleships, cruisers, and destroyers. Now we have hybrid planes, right? Now we have even more overmatch in the game than we used to back in 2021. So the meta new ships that are being continually introduced by World of Warships, I think, has put Des Moines still somewhat at a challenge. But there's still some very good things that Des Moines is very capable of in doing. Overall. So with that being said, I haven't played Des Moines in a really long time. Actually, I mainly play Salem, and very briefly. The differences between those two ships, the same class and everything, right? On Des Moines, what's better is that you get to run both the hydro and a radar. Salem, you have to choose either the radar or either the hydro, but you do get a defensive AA is a given. I think on Des Moines you have to choose hydro or defensive AA, and then radar or spotter plane. So that's a whole meme in and of itself, spotter plane Des Moines. They're rare. I actually saw one earlier this year, and yeah, he died really fast. Your radar is a 10-kilometer radar versus Des Moines' 8.5-kilometer radar. It's a long-lasting 10-kilometer radar, especially when you build for it. The other thing here with Des Moines compared to Salem is that you have normal cruiser heals, where Salem has a super heal. So Salem can take a lot more punishment and heal back from it more quickly versus what you can do with Des Moines. And then lastly would be the 6th slot. On Des Moines, we can take the legendary mod, the Propulsion Plant, which is a negative 50% propulsion. Time taken to reach 4 engine power is reduced by negative 50%. On top of the 4th slot, where you also take the propulsion, time to reach 4 engine power reduced by negative 50%. So you stack those two, and you get like a Des Moines with a Ferrari engine. And it's absolutely incredible. So kind of where you would say that Des Moines and Salem might play differently in terms of when you talk about their health. Like, yeah, Salem's really nice because it has the radar. Oh, sorry, not the radar. Salem has the super heal, but Des Moines has this enhanced propulsion plant, which basically, like, you're trying to avoid the damage with Des Moines when you utilize the propulsion. Whereas on Salem, like, okay, you can take the damage, you're probably going to get hit, but you can just heal it back with your super heal. So you have to be a little more crafty with Des Moines. Des Moines requires more situational awareness, which is why you see me clicking out a lot and using the right key, because I'm trying to pay attention to this Montana, and I decide, no, we need to full send it. And so watch how fast we accelerate here. And even though I didn't do it like ASAP, like, we still completely avoid that salvo. Now the Montana is actually going to get me on the next salvo, which is going to be unfortunate because I'm trying to angle the Schlieffen, who's been permitted to wrap completely around on our flank, which is really bad when you're playing this side of the spawn. And we also have a Moskva, so I had to stay angled the Moskva, and then I miss it out of the corner of my eye there. There's an incoming Montana salvo. And I'm playing with my speed, but we still eat 2 Citadels, and that's honestly probably going to be one mistake that you might be able to pin it on that costing me the game, because we're going to fight to the bitter end here. We're like Salem, like, yeah, we would just heal a lot of that back up, but not on Des Moines. So like, you have to be constant situational awareness. Like here, I'm going to re-accelerate again. It looked like I was reversing, so Montana aims for as if I was reversing. And just look how fast I just boop back up. So Des Moines legendary mod requires a lot of situational awareness. If you want to see propulsion mod used like amazingly, my favorite YouTube content creator is the Sailing Robin. I don't think we've seen the Sailing Robin on the high seas for some time now. Dude has a Des Moines, is it Tokyo Drift? He has an amazing Des Moines video. Maybe I can remember too. I'll link it in the comments or put it in the description below. But it's phenomenal. It has like, I think it has 1 million views or something. Does it have 1 million views? I don't know. At least has over 100,000 views. Maybe it's only half 500,000 views. I don't remember. But it's an amazing video, so go check him out. So the amount of hours he put into making that Des Moines video is like, I can't imagine. So that being said, so let me talk about weaknesses of Des Moines. I kind of talked a little bit about it earlier. Well, actually, let me do strengths first. Strengths of Des Moines lie in her consumables, whether we're talking about the hydro, which you see here, we see the torps coming because we're running our hydro. It's the fact that you have a heal. I mean, most, of course, tier 10 cruisers get heals these days, right? They have for a decent amount of time. It's very strange not to have heal at high tier, but hey, we're gonna be thankful for the heal, right? You're long-lasting, strong, medium-range, 10-kilometer radar. 12-kilometer would be considered the long-range radar here, like more known on the Soviet classes. And then you get the depth charge airstrike, much better than ship-based depth charge. You get standard repair party. You get a very potent 2 and 3 millimeter guns. So like one of the things that Des Moines and Salem do really well, as an example, let's say if you go up against a battle on Moskva or Petropavlovsk, like I want to take the Des Moines or Salem every time, to be honest. You have such a high rate of fire, and we're running the 4 slot or 4 skill points where any ship within our stated detectability range, which is like 10.8, I think, I forget now, 10.9, we get a faster reload time. So we're running that here to help us out. This Plymouth ends up charging us, so we end up switching. You take gun feeder and switching between high explosive and armor piercing, because you know you'll have, especially when, I love it when the British cruisers decide to go turn broadside, like since the end is near, so they turn, they go broadside, and then you just smack them with your armor piercing. You can actually Citadel even Yamato with Des Moines, Salem the 203 AP, but you have to be actually about 3-4 kilometers close effectively to do that. So I burned the radar here as an informative to kind of tell me where the sub and destroyers are at, because I just need to know where and give me an idea of where torps might be coming from. So I'm actually, you can see I've killed my throttle. I don't have any hydro, but I can guess off of where they're at. If they torpedoed me, where are the torpedo avenues? And so it would be behind me or in front of me. And here you can see, yeah, they definitely torped for me in front. So if I would have kept sailing, I would have died. So that's a situational awareness that just helps to have a lot with Des Moines. Even though we don't have hydro, we're like, yeah, okay, we know the torpedoes are going to be coming. So the radar was to basically help me figure out where the torpedoes would come from. Or if I could catch a destroyer off guard and get some shots in. The other strength of Des Moines really is the legendary Enhanced Propulsion Plant. Like, honestly, it's a godsend. Like, if you have Des Moines and you don't have that, like, you need to get it. Like, it's just incredible. Now, granted, you're gonna give up your damage per minute with not taking the main battery mod 3, where you take that on Salem, right? So on Salem, you have a faster damage per minute. You have when you take that, because you can't take the propulsion enhanced plant on Salem. So yeah, you're probably gonna maybe do more damage with the Salem versus the Des Moines. But with Des Moines, like, it's just going to be really satisfying because you have your radar, 10 kilometer, not at 8.5. You have your hydro, and you have your enhanced propulsion plant. We just don't get all those things when we're discussing Salem. So we're going to be supporting the hull. I kind of wish the hull would have hung back here because I need him. One of the reasons I really want to keep Hull alive in the game is he has a defensive AA. I don't. We're struggling taking down planes now. We have 1.2 6 1.8, can't tell. Million potential damage. We've only shot down 5 planes. We've only shot down 5 planes. Like, what the heck's going on here, right? So I need Hull alive to help if we're going to have a chance at winning the game. But he's doing a Shimakaze, which Shimakaze high explosives max, and he's also got a Yu Yang further back in there. So we're going to lose him there, but we pick up the general offensive. I burn the radar because the Yu Yang is outside of my hydro. And with this very fast rate of fire, and we're going to prioritize our A sector, you can see that we're going to make some quick work of Yu Yang. So honestly, what you've seen happen in this last half of the fight, if you will, like, we're perfectly set up. Like, there was a moment just a minute ago, enemy team had all their destroyers, still has their submarine, and they still have the aircraft carrier player. How many games do you play in World of Warships where you get to the last half of the battle and every destroyer player on your team is alive? It's really rare, right? Like, it's not normal. So this was like a very exceptional game for the enemy team, that the destroyers seem to be playing pretty wise overall. But we do want to take advantage of them because Des Moines works really fantastic against destroyers. Like, she's meant to take out destroyers playing key objective areas. Where Des Moines will lack against destroyers is like this scenario right here. We're shooting a Grozavoy at almost 15 kilometers away. And because of the shell travel time and quite the higher arcs, it makes landing shots on the destroyer at longer range a pain. So like Des Moines is more ideal and trying to land more accurate salvos on destroyers. I would say, I mean, honestly, it depends on the destroyer, but at minimum 12 and under, where it's a little bit more easier, or if this destroyer just has the condition known as straight linus, then yeah, you'll be okay in that regard. So this game has come to this point where it's like caps are really important. So now we have our second cap. Now we need to go back to Bravo cap, which is about to be flipped. And I'm trying to be mindful of playing with my propulsion, playing with my rudder, to help combat the Malta CV. So his rocket strikes we want to be vertical with, because they're kind of like more like a square or more rectangular, I guess. Rectangle is probably the better word to use here. And then when he drops us with like here, it's like this isn't as good because like I thought I could get to the island in time. He just struck me and was able to make a full 360 or 180, excuse me. So it's like I was really annoyed about that. Like, I just had a whole video, I'll put it at the end, talking about karma and why a lot of CV players and submarine people, like, they get reported even more, right? And even my what I don't like about them. So that's if you want to know how karma works, I have a whole video for that. Be at the end here. But we need to get the radar off ASAP, because if we have any chance of catching the Shima, we need to get him before maybe he uses an engine boost and disengages. We slowed down there. We were able to wait out the torps. That was fine. And Malta is still attacking us with full squadrons. Amazing, right? Prioritize the AA. You know, we're at 11 planes shot down right now. I don't have to worry about any torps because Shimakaze dumped them all, so we can just go broadside here. So I'm trying to get on the cap. What I was really frustrated about this game, and you see it in chat, that I've asked the submarine to do something useful. And my clan commander Doom, he despises submarines just about as much as he despises CV players or CVs in submarine class. So I have to leave it to the Thrasher to get the cap, and I'm going to tell him don't go under, because I see a lot of submarine players where the submarine's on the cap and the CV's actually out of position to land an accurate strike, but the submarine player panics and he goes under and he loses all his cap progress, right? So I'm going to tell a submarine player to stay on the surface, don't go under, and so we'll see what happens. You can see we have another team player, or the Montana is really upset as well, but it's like, you know, he was being farmed by Grozavoy and a U4501, I think it was, who's just, you know, he was having a great time with the sub, right? Like, I haven't had to deal with enemy sub yet this game, but he has, and it's just like, yeah, that sucked for him. So this Thrasher here, props to him. He doesn't go under. He stays up. CV tries to get a torpedo in on him, but it was too close. I don't know if you actually get defended ribbon for hitting someone when you don't. It's not with it. It's not when it's within the arming distance. Like, yes, the torps haven't armed yet. But I felt like I could sneak over here and hug this island here to help us out here. But I need to talk. The way you normally play a Des Moines is you want to play islands, you want to play smoke, or be in a position where you can more easily use a propulsion plant, enhanced propulsion plant, to avoid incoming strikes. Now, the weaknesses in terms of where does Des Moines struggle as the game has gone on since 2021. Well, it's the Dutch airstrikes, because Des Moines loves setting up on an island and just locking down a key objective area, as an example, right? Well, now you have Dutch airstrikes on destroyers, cruisers, and battleships that can hit up to 15 kilometers away, as we rock-a-bye baby this torpedo. But airstrikes that can hit up to 20 or 15 kilometers away. And you have more like, you know, Prince van Oranje, or I think the Wilhelm de Ooste. I don't remember Wilhelm de Ooste. But you have these airstrikes that do even more massive damage, that have even more pin. So like you can, well, it depends on how many drops you get off on the Des Moines if you catch them off guard, or a Salem. Like, you can literally bury a Des Moines into the ground with just 2 strikes. 1 or 2 strikes. Like, you could lose at least half of your health with 1 Prince van Oranje strike if the strike's good and accurate, right? And I burned a radar here because I expecting to die. We haven't died yet. You know, I highlighted to you a moment ago, we're only 11 planes shot down, and now we've only gone up to, I think it's 19. But I'm actually kind of hoping here I end up dying to the Grozavoy over the CV, and that's the case here. But it's airstrikes, it's hybrid planes like Hildebrand with the high explosive pin he has on his planes are just wreck you and mess you up in Des Moines or Salem. That's a pain. You know, even more hybrid planes. You have more powerful CVs. We have super CVs. We have super class ships now. We have ships with burst fire. Ships you can push a magic button, more accurate salvos like on a Satsuma. You have submarines. You're set up on an island. Submarine pops up several kilometers away, dumps all his torps into you, and you're not able to get away in the time because he didn't ping you, right? He catches you off guard. So those are the challenges that Des Moines has these days in World of Warships. It requires so much more situational awareness than back in 2021. Especially for the amount of overmatch. Like, I think Des Moines overmatchable everywhere with, I think, 431 and above with her armor scheme. So she just gets wrecked, you know. So, you know, we took almost 95,000 damage and 2,250,000 potential damage. Like, that's just like crazy what ended up happening to us this game. Like, we did as much as we could, but unfortunately, like, we ate that massive Montana salvo, where maybe if we had those additional hit points, it would have helped us with the CV player. I think the multiplayer wasn't that good. I was just surprised I didn't take as much damage, or he didn't get as accurate strikes as he did, but I was trying to make it as difficult for him as possible. So, but I feel like I've gone up against some really good multiplayers. Like, I think I have a video, I'll tag it at the end here too, of Salem versus Malta. And having the defensive AA is a big step up for Salem. Like for dealing with the destroyers this game, like, Des Moines was perfect. Dealing with the CV, like our little friend in the Malta, like, I would have wanted to be in Salem, right? So it's kind of like, it's hard to get best of both worlds sometimes when you're in these kind of sucky situations where you fight to the bitter end. So, but I hope you enjoyed the game. Tomorrow I'll do a new version, 2025 version of the upgrade commander build video on the Des Moines. So if you liked today's video, give a thumbs up. If you didn't, give a thumbs down. Subscribe if you do want to see more. If you subscribe, thanks so much. I appreciate it. Thank you to my Patreon supporters. And until next time, take care.